What if a few minutes of listening every day could completely change the way you speak? English FlowZone brings you natural conversations, useful expressions, and everyday rhythm to help you sound more effortless over time. Put on your headphones, listen along, and let's begin.
I am Natasha, your host for today.
If this is your first time here, I want to let you know that we upload a new English learning video every single day to help you improve your English faster and more confidently. In today's episode, you're not just going to practice your English listening skills. You'll also get practical strategies and daily life examples that will guide you on your journey toward true English fluency. Today's topic is one of the most important lessons you'll ever hear. If you're serious about becoming fluent in English, we're going to uncover the only real ways that can help you become fluent. Not just memorize rules, but speak confidently, think clearly, and understand native English as it's actually spoken. Throughout this lesson, we'll go through daily life conversations, practice examples, and realistic exercises that will help you build natural fluency step by step. No matter where you are on your English learning journey, whether you're a beginner, intermediate, or advanced learner, this lesson is going to open your mind and give you tools you can use right now. By the end of this video, you'll understand what fluency truly means, how to train your brain to think in English, and how to make daily progress that actually shows up in your speaking and listening. Before we begin, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so you never miss a chance to improve your English with us. Now, find a quiet space, grab a pen and paper, and let's begin your journey to real English fluency. Right now, fluency in English is something every learner dreams of. But here's a truth that most learners don't realize early enough. Fluency is not just about speaking fast or using big words. It's not about knowing grammar rules inside out or passing a test with high marks. True fluency is when you can express yourself clearly and smoothly in English, understand others without struggling, and switch between ideas and sentences naturally without translating in your head. Many learners get stuck because they try to memorize too many rules, or they wait to speak until their English is perfect. But the reality is, your English doesn't have to be perfect. It has to be usable. In today's lesson, we're going to explore the only ways to become truly fluent in English. And these methods are not just theories. They are practical, real, and proven. You'll hear real-life examples, get exercises to practice, and understand what it really takes to speak English comfortably and confidently. Let's start by understanding why many learners feel like they're stuck, even after studying for months or years. Imagine this situation. You've been studying grammar, doing vocabulary drills, and even watching English videos. But when someone speaks to you in English, your mind freezes. You can't form sentences fast enough. You understand the words, but you can't reply smoothly. This happens to so many learners because they focus on input, reading, listening, memorizing, but they don't practice output enough. Speaking is an active skill. You can't get fluent just by listening. You have to speak out loud every day, even if you make mistakes. The fear of making mistakes is one of the biggest blocks to fluency. But here's a powerful tip to remember. You don't learn to speak fluently by avoiding mistakes. You learn by making them, noticing them, and improving naturally through daily use. Now, let's do a quick practice exercise to train your fluency muscles. I want you to describe what you did yesterday in English. Don't worry about grammar, just speak. Say it out loud as if you're telling a friend. For example, yesterday I woke up at 7 a.m. I made a cup of tea. Then I took a shower and went to work. At work, I answered emails, talked to my boss, and had lunch with my coworkers. After work, I came home, cooked dinner, watched a movie, and went to sleep. Now you try. This kind of speaking practice helps you connect thoughts in English without thinking in your native language. It may feel slow at first, but this is how fluency begins, by speaking regularly and simply. Let's go deeper. One of the most powerful ways to become fluent is to use English in your daily routine, not just during study time. Think of your morning routine. When you wake up, try to describe everything you're doing in English, even if you're alone. For example, say to yourself, I am brushing my teeth. I am putting on my shoes. I am packing my bag. You don't need a conversation partner for this. You just need your own voice and your willingness to practice. The more you speak out loud, the more natural English becomes to your brain. You're not just learning words, you're training your brain to think in English. Now, let's try another practical exercise. Think about your kitchen. Describe everything you see there in English. There is a fridge. Inside the fridge, I have milk, eggs, and vegetables. On the counter, there is a blender. The sink is clean. I am going to cook rice and vegetables today. Do you see how this simple description can build your fluency? You're learning to form sentences without pressure, in a relaxed environment. And when it's time to speak to someone, your brain will already have the practice it needs. Another important point in becoming fluent is using English to think, not just to speak. When you think in English, you stop translating from your native language. And this is where fluency really grows. Let's try a thinking exercise. I'll ask you a question, and I want you to answer in English, in your mind. Don't translate, just respond. What do you usually eat for breakfast? What time do you go to bed? What do you like to do on the weekend? What's your favorite movie, and why do you like it? If you can answer these questions in English in your thoughts, even silently, you're training your fluency. Thinking in English is one of the most powerful habits you can develop. It's invisible practice, but it's highly effective. Let's imagine a daily life scene to make this more fun and relatable. Imagine you're at a cafe. You walk up to the counter and say, "Hi, can I have a coffee with milk, please?" The cashier replies, "Sure, would you like it hot or iced?" You say, "Hot, please. And can I also get a blueberry muffin?" The cashier responds, "That will be $5. You hand over the money and say, "Thank you. This simple scene is a daily situation, and if you can imagine or role-play conversations like this every day, you will grow your fluency in real-world contexts. You can write these dialogues down, practice them out loud, and even record yourself. The more you do this, the more fluent you become, without even realizing it. Another thing that helps massively is listening to English every single day. Not just passively, but actively. That means listening to understand, repeat, and use. Let's say you're watching a short English video. Listen to a sentence, pause, repeat it out loud. Try to mimic the speaker's tone and rhythm. Then use that sentence in your own way. For example, if the speaker says, "I don't feel like going out today," you repeat it. Then create your own sentence. "I don't feel like cooking today." This method is called shadowing, and it is one of the most effective ways to become fluent. You're not just listening, you're practicing speaking with rhythm and confidence. Keep listening and speaking back. These habits will turn your English from silent understanding into active fluency. And remember, fluency is not about perfection. It's about flow. It's about being able to continue speaking, even when you forget a word or make a small mistake. That's what native speakers do too. If you want to become fluent, you must build habits around English. Fluency doesn't come from once-a-week practice or a few minutes of study before bed. It comes from daily connection with the language. You have to touch English every single day in some way. That doesn't mean you have to study for hours. Even 15 to 20 minutes of focused speaking or thinking practice can make a big difference over time. The key is consistency. Fluency grows through regular exposure, like watering a plant. A little water every day makes it bloom. If you water it once a month, it will dry up. In the same way, your English needs daily care and use. Let's look at another useful daily routine. You can turn into a fluency exercise. Every night before going to sleep, take 5 minutes to speak about your day in English. Say everything you did from morning until night. For example, today I woke up early. I made breakfast and watched the news. I worked on my project for a few hours. Then I met my friend for coffee. We talked about our plans for the weekend. In the evening, I relaxed and read a book. This bedtime review helps you turn your thoughts into English, and it's a peaceful way to reflect on your progress. You can even record yourself if you want to track your speaking improvement over time. When you do this every night, you are rewiring your brain to process thoughts in English naturally. Now let's practice describing feelings, which is another important part of fluency. Being fluent doesn't just mean you can describe actions. It also means you can express your thoughts, emotions, and opinions. Let's try it now. Say out loud how you feel today. For example, I feel excited because I'm learning something useful. I feel a little tired, but I'm happy to be improving my English. Sometimes I feel nervous when I speak, but I know that I'm getting better every day. Expressing feelings in English makes your language more human and relatable. It gives your speech personality and emotion, just like native speakers. A common question from learners is, do I need to live in an English-speaking country to become fluent? The answer is no. Fluency comes from how you use English, not where you live. There are thousands of fluent speakers who've never left their home country. What they did right was build an English world around them. They read in English, listened to podcasts, watched shows, spoke to themselves, joined online communities, and practiced daily conversations, even if it was just with themselves. So don't wait for the perfect environment. Create your environment. Turn your phone into English. Set your apps in English. Write your grocery list in English. Talk to yourself in English while cooking. These small daily changes build a strong fluency foundation. Let's try a daily dialogue practice now. Imagine you're at a bookstore. You walk in and say, "Hi, I'm looking for a book on photography." The staff replies, "Sure, we have a section for photography. Follow me." You say, "Thank you. Do you also have any books about travel?" They reply, "Yes, those are in the next aisle." Then you say, "Great, I'll take a look. Can I ask you if there are any discounts today?" They say, "Yes, we're offering 10% off all books." You respond, "Perfect. I'll take these too." These everyday conversations may seem simple, but practicing them builds confidence. You're not just learning language, you're preparing for real-life interaction. Another helpful fluency habit is narration. Narration means talking about what's happening around you in real time. You can practice this while doing any activity. For example, while cooking, you can say, I'm cutting the tomatoes. Now I'm heating the oil. I'm adding the onions and garlic. It smells really good. Now I'm putting in the spices. When you do this often, English becomes your inner voice. It becomes part of your life. You're not studying English anymore. You're living it. And that's when fluency becomes natural. You might be wondering, but what if I don't know the words? That's okay. Use the words you do know. If you forget a word, describe it. For example, if you forget the word microwave, you can say, the machine that heats food quickly. Over time, you'll remember the word, but in that moment, you're doing something very important. You're keeping the conversation going. That's fluency, not stopping. Finding a way to continue. Even native speakers do this. They say things like, the thing, what's it called? Oh yeah, the microwave. So don't stop speaking just because you don't know a word. Speak around it. Let's do another short mental exercise together. I'll ask you some questions, and you try to answer them in your mind in English. What's your favorite food? And how do you prepare it? Describe your favorite place to relax. What kind of clothes do you wear when it's cold? What do you usually do on Sunday mornings? Try to answer each one with a full sentence. This will help you speak more fluently and develop sentence rhythm. Another great tool for fluency is reading out loud. When you read in your mind, you understand the meaning. But when you read out loud, you improve your pronunciation, rhythm, and speaking confidence. Choose a short article, story, or dialogue, and read it aloud every day. After reading, close the book and try to repeat what you remember. This builds both memory and fluency. You can even write a short summary in your own words. This combines speaking, listening, and writing, all key elements of fluency. Some learners ask, how long will it take to become fluent? That depends on you. It's not about years. It's about how you use your time. If you speak, think, read, and listen in English every day, fluency can come faster than you think. The learners who become fluent quickly are the ones who take action daily, not the ones who wait for the perfect course or teacher. So start now. Don't wait for next week. Even talking to yourself in the mirror for 5 minutes a day can make a difference. It's not about speaking perfectly. It's about speaking regularly. Fluency also involves listening to different kinds of English. Don't just stick to one accent or one speaker. Listen to American, British, Australian, and other English speakers. This helps you understand real conversations with different rhythms and tones. It prepares your ears and your brain for the variety of English spoken in the world. The more your ears hear, the more your brain understands. Let's end this part with one more practical exercise. Pretend you're calling a friend. Start the call by saying, "Hi, how are you?" Then continue with, "I just wanted to tell you about my day." Now, tell your friend everything you did, how you felt, and what your plans are for tomorrow. This kind of pretend conversation helps you speak naturally. You're training your mind to build sentences in real time. You're creating the fluency habit, step by step. Fluency also depends on your emotional connection with the language. If you feel bored or stressed every time you practice English, your brain will resist. But if you feel relaxed, curious, and excited, your brain will absorb English more easily. So it's important to choose content that you enjoy. Watch shows that make you laugh. Read stories that inspire you. Listen to music that touches your heart. When you have fun while learning, fluency becomes a joyful process. not a painful task. If you enjoy the process, you'll keep going. And fluency is not about one big step. It's about many small steps taken every day. Another way to boost fluency is through repetition. Don't worry about watching the same video or reading the same story again and again. Repetition helps your brain remember structure, vocabulary, and rhythm. If you like a scene from a movie, watch it 5 times. Then pause it, repeat the lines out loud, and try to say them from memory. Repetition builds fluency because it gives your brain patterns to hold on to. Think of your favorite song. You remember the lyrics because you've heard them again and again. The same principle works for spoken English. Let's do a speaking repetition exercise right now. I'll say a short sentence, and I want you to repeat it out loud. Then I'll ask you to change it a little using your own words. First, repeat this sentence. I like to go for a walk in the evening. Now, change it. I like to go for a walk in the morning. Or, I like to go for a walk with my friend. One more. I like to read a book in the evening. This kind of flexible repetition builds speaking fluency. You learn sentence structure, rhythm, and word flow. And you also learn how to make your own variations naturally. Storytelling is another powerful way to build fluency. When you tell stories, you connect events, describe actions, express feelings, and create meaning, all in English. You can start with your real life. Tell the story of something that happened to you. For example, a fun trip, a family celebration, or a time when you learned something new. Even a simple story can become a fluency workout. Try this. Last month, I went to the beach with my family. We left early in the morning. The weather was sunny and perfect. We swam, played games, and ate lunch by the water. In the evening, we watched the sunset and took pictures. It was a beautiful day. Now, try to tell your own version of a recent day or event. You can also create imaginary stories. This allows you to be creative with your vocabulary and practice fluency in a fun way. For example, one day I woke up and found a talking cat in my kitchen. It looked at me and said, "Good morning." I was shocked, but the cat asked for breakfast. I gave it some milk, and then it started telling me stories from around the world. This type of playful storytelling gives you freedom to use your imagination and practice English in new ways. You're not limited by reality. You can explore language in any direction. Another fluency building tool is question practice. If you want to speak well, you need to be good at both answering and asking questions. Let's try a mini question challenge. Answer these questions in full sentences. What is something you want to learn this year? What do you usually do on your birthday? How do you prepare for an important day? What's your dream vacation? Now, try asking yourself questions too. What did I do today? How do I feel right now? What do I need to do tomorrow? Asking and answering helps you become a natural English thinker. You can also practice describing objects in your environment to build vocabulary and fluency. Look around your room. Pick an object and describe it in detail in English. For example, this is a black backpack. It has 2 large pockets and a small zipper at the front. I use it to carry my books and laptop. It's very light and comfortable. Now choose another item, maybe your phone. Describe its color, shape, brand, what you use it for, and how long you've had it. This kind of detailed description helps you express more than just the basics. It pushes your language beyond "this is a phone" into full, fluent description. Fluency also improves when you talk about opinions. Practice giving your opinion on common topics. For example, I think learning English is important because it helps you communicate with people from around the world. Or, in my opinion, reading books is better than watching TV because it helps you imagine more. When you practice expressing your thoughts, you develop the ability to speak confidently in real conversations. Try this exercise. Choose a topic like travel, food, technology, or education. Speak for 1 minute in English about your opinion on that topic. If you get stuck, slow down, take a breath, and keep going. Don't worry about mistakes. Focus on flow. Here's a great way to use your phone for fluency practice. Open the voice recorder and talk about your day in English for 2 minutes. Don't stop. Just speak whatever comes to mind. Then, listen to the recording. Notice the parts where you hesitated. Try again. Speak more smoothly. Over time, you'll hear your progress. You'll hear the hesitation decrease and the confidence increase. Recording your voice may feel strange at first, but it's one of the best tools to improve your fluency. One more strategy is writing as a way to support speaking fluency. You don't have to be a writer. Just keep a simple journal in English. Every night, write 5 to 6 sentences about your day. For example, today I worked on a project. I had a meeting with my team. We discussed new ideas. I felt productive. Later, I cooked dinner and watched a movie. When you write your thoughts in English, you practice sentence formation, and that supports your speaking fluency. After writing, you can also read your journal out loud as a way to practice both skills together. Let's do one more creative practice. Imagine you are a tour guide in your city. Describe a place you would show to visitors. For example, this is the Central Park. It's the largest park in the city. People come here to walk, relax, and enjoy the greenery. There's a small lake, a playground for children, and a cafe that serves fresh snacks. On weekends, there are music events and small markets. It's a great place to spend time with family and friends. You can create similar descriptions for other places you know well. These speaking exercises build real-world fluency and confidence. Building fluency in English is not just about speaking well. It's also about listening with intention. To truly become fluent, you need to train your ears to understand spoken English in different contexts, speeds, and accents. But don't just listen passively. Active listening is where the magic happens. For example, when you watch a video, don't just watch it once. Pause it after each sentence, repeat the line out loud, and try to copy the speaker's intonation and rhythm, then replay and compare. This shadowing technique helps your mouth, brain, and ears work together. Over time, your speaking will naturally begin to reflect what you hear. You're not just learning words, you're absorbing the music of English. Let's try a mini shadowing exercise together. Listen to this sentence and repeat it after me. I usually go for a walk in the evening when the weather is nice. Now repeat it again, with natural flow. Then change it slightly. I usually read a book in the evening when I have time. You can keep changing the sentence. I usually call my friend in the evening. Or, I usually cook dinner in the evening. These variations train you to speak comfortably in everyday situations. You're not memorizing, you're practicing living English. Another useful tool for fluency is setting small language challenges for yourself. Each day, choose a specific topic and talk about it in English for 5 minutes. For example, Monday could be my hobbies. Tuesday, my favorite food. Wednesday, a day at work or school, and so on. This not only builds vocabulary, but also helps you learn how to organize your thoughts. As you do this, don't worry if your sentences are simple. What matters most is speaking continuously, clearly, and confidently. You'll notice your vocabulary growing and your hesitation decreasing as you continue these small daily challenges. Many learners think they need a language partner to become fluent. While practicing with others is great, it's not necessary to reach fluency. You can create your own speaking environment. Pretend you're having a conversation with someone. Ask a question, then answer it yourself. For example, "Hi, how was your weekend?" Then respond, "It was nice. I went to the park, read a book, and had coffee with a friend." Then continue, "Oh, that sounds great. What book did you read?" And so on. This method might feel a little funny at first, but it builds your ability to keep conversations flowing. And that's what fluency is all about. Another very effective technique is called self-talk. It means speaking to yourself in English throughout the day. You don't have to be loud. You can whisper, or even speak silently in your mind. When you're cooking, say, "I'm chopping the onions now. Next, I'll add the tomatoes." When you're walking outside, say, "The sky is blue today. I can hear birds singing." These moments of everyday self-talk train your brain to think in English. The more you do it, the more automatic it becomes. Eventually, English becomes your natural way of processing the world around you. Let's do a self-talk practice now. Imagine you're getting ready for work or school. Say out loud, "I need to take a shower. Then I'll choose my clothes. What should I wear today? Maybe the blue shirt. It looks comfortable. I'll pack my bag and check if I have my notebook." These simple daily thoughts are perfect fluency exercises. You're not just practicing vocabulary, you're simulating the exact language patterns you'll use in real life. Let's now focus on fluency through visual thinking. This is a method where you describe what you see in real time. Pick any room or location around you and describe it in detail in English. For example, if you're in your living room, say, "There's a brown sofa in the corner. On the table, there's a cup of tea and a book. The curtains are open and sunlight is coming in. The clock on the wall shows it's almost 3 o'clock. Doing this regularly helps you build the skill of fast description. This is a key element of fluency, especially when you need to describe things to others or explain what's happening around you. Fluency also improves when you practice transitions. These are words and phrases that connect your thoughts. Words like however, also, because, although, so, and then. They help you speak more smoothly and naturally. Let's try an example. "I wanted to go outside, but it started raining, so I stayed home and watched a movie instead." Another one. "I love coffee because it helps me feel more awake in the morning." Try using these connecting words in your own sentences throughout the day. The smoother your transitions, the more fluent you sound. Now, let's move to role play, one of the most exciting and realistic fluency practices. Imagine you're in a job interview. The interviewer says, "Tell me about yourself." You answer, "My name is Sarah. I recently graduated with a degree in computer science. I enjoy problem solving and working with data. In my free time, I like reading tech blogs and learning new skills." Then the interviewer asks, "Why do you want to work with us?" You say, "I admire your company's commitment to innovation. I believe this role will challenge me and help me grow professionally." Practicing role plays helps prepare you for real-life conversations. and builds confidence in professional and casual settings. Another important aspect of fluency is managing pauses. Even fluent speakers need a second to think. The difference is, fluent speakers use fillers and pauses naturally. You can use simple phrases like, "Let me think." "That's a good question." "Well," or, "You know." These give you a second to organize your thoughts without losing flow. For example, "Well, I think the most interesting part of the movie was the ending. Let me think. Yes, the twist really surprised me." Practicing these pauses makes your speech sound more natural and confident. Fluency is also about confidence, and confidence grows with success. So track your progress. Notice the small wins. Maybe today you spoke without hesitation for 1 full minute. Maybe you used a new word in a sentence. Maybe you understood a podcast without subtitles. These are victories. Write them down, celebrate them. They are signs that your fluency is growing, and when you see your progress clearly, you'll stay motivated to keep going. Let's end this part with one more practical daily exercise. Think of 3 things you are grateful for today, and say them out loud in English. For example, "I'm grateful for my family." "I'm grateful for the nice weather." "I'm grateful that I'm improving my English every day." Practicing gratitude in English not only improves your fluency, but also makes your practice emotionally positive and personally meaningful. Now that you've understood so many ways to build your fluency, it's important to remember that patience plays a huge role in the process. Fluency doesn't come overnight. It's like building strength at the gym. You can't lift heavy weights on your first day. You start small, build your muscles gradually, and keep increasing the weight as you get stronger. English works the same way. You begin with simple sentences, build your vocabulary, stretch your speaking time, and slowly grow your ability to express complex ideas. The more you speak, listen, think, and live in English, the easier it becomes. Every time you practice, you are moving one step closer to natural fluency. Let's talk about your mindset. Your attitude toward learning matters just as much as the method. Some learners say, "I'm not good at English," or "I always forget words." These thoughts limit your growth. But if you say, "I'm improving every day," or "Every mistake helps me learn," you give yourself the power to succeed. Fluency is not for the perfect, it's for the consistent. It's not about talent, it's about practice. Even native speakers make grammar mistakes and search for the right words. What makes a fluent speaker is their ability to keep going without fear. So speak with courage, speak with joy, and speak often. Now here's a helpful exercise to build a strong English-speaking mindset. Every morning, before you begin your day, look in the mirror and speak a short positive sentence in English. Say something like, "I am learning English with confidence," or "I speak more fluently every day," or "English is becoming part of my life." This kind of daily affirmation may seem small, but it sets the tone for your practice. When you start your day with English, you carry the language with you throughout the day. Another powerful practice is goal setting. Set weekly speaking goals. For example, this week I will speak in English for 5 minutes every morning, or I will write a daily journal entry in English, or I will learn and use 5 new expressions in a sentence. These small, clear goals help you measure progress. When you achieve a goal, you feel proud. That feeling motivates you to set another one. Over time, these little achievements build big fluency. Let's do a weekly goal-setting practice now. Imagine it's Sunday. You're planning your week. You say, "This week, I will focus on describing places." You plan to describe your room on Monday, your kitchen on Tuesday, your neighborhood on Wednesday, your school or workplace on Thursday, and your favorite vacation spot on Friday. On Saturday, you'll review what you said all week. This kind of structured practice adds direction to your learning. It gives your brain a theme to focus on, and that helps you stay engaged and grow faster. Now, let's move to fluency through routine conversation starters. These are simple, everyday phrases that start natural dialogues. Practice these regularly. How was your day? What are you working on today? Did you watch anything interesting lately? What's your plan for the weekend? Have you tried that new restaurant? By practicing such phrases and combining them with your own answers, you build confidence in real-time speaking. You learn to start and continue conversations easily, which is a key skill for fluent communication. Here's another practical tip. Turn your mistakes into lessons. When you realize you've said something incorrectly, don't feel bad. Take that moment to learn. For example, if you say, "He go to school," and later realize it should be, "He goes to school." Say it the correct way 3 times. He goes to school. He goes to school. He goes to school. This repetition helps correct the mistake in your brain. You don't need to remember every grammar rule. You need to build correct patterns through use and practice. Let's try a correction exercise. I'll give you a sentence with a small mistake, and you try to fix it. Ready? Here's the sentence. She like pizza very much. What's wrong? Yes, it should be, she likes pizza very much. Try another one. I am go to the market. The correct sentence is, I am going to the market. One more. We was happy. The correct version, we were happy. These simple correction practices train your mind to recognize patterns and apply them naturally during conversation. Another fun fluency booster is imitation. Choose a short clip from a movie or series in English and try to imitate the way the characters speak. Focus not just on the words, but on their expressions, tone, and pauses. If someone says, "Are you kidding me?" with surprise, try to say it the same way. If a character whispers, "That's a secret," try whispering it too. This type of imitation builds both pronunciation and fluency. You learn how real English sounds in different emotions and situations, which helps you become a more expressive and confident speaker. Let's do a creative fluency activity now. Imagine you're on a podcast, and you're the guest. The host says, "Welcome! Today we're talking to an amazing English learner who has made great progress. Tell us a little about yourself." Now answer as if you're on the show. You might say, "Thank you. My name is Alex. I've been learning English for 2 years. I practice every day by speaking out loud, writing in my journal, and listening to podcasts. I still make mistakes, but I enjoy the journey. English helps me connect with people around the world." Practicing this type of imaginary interview builds confidence in telling your story in English. It's also useful to build a small group of words around common situations. For example, think about going to a doctor. Learn and practice words like appointment, prescription, fever, headache, medicine, and checkup. Then build simple sentences with them. I have an appointment with the doctor. I need a prescription for my medicine. I've had a headache for 2 days. This approach helps you become fluent in real-world situations. You're not just learning random words. You're building language clusters that make communication easier. Let's practice with a short routine story. Imagine it's a regular Monday morning. You wake up at 6:30 a.m. You say to yourself, "It's a new day. I'm going to use English today." You brush your teeth, get dressed, and make breakfast. While eating, you describe your food in English. This is toast with peanut butter. I have a cup of coffee. It's warm and strong. You go outside and notice the weather. It's a little cloudy, but the air feels fresh. On your way to work or school, you think in English. I have a meeting at 10 a.m. I need to finish my report. I'll take a break around noon. These small thoughts are fluency in action. This is what real progress looks like. As we come to the final part of this video, it's important to remember that fluency is not something you achieve all at once. It's a journey, and it's deeply personal. Some people become fluent through conversation, others through reading, writing, or listening. But what truly matters is that you stay consistent, patient, and curious. You don't have to rush or compare yourself to anyone. If you speak a little more today than you did yesterday, that's progress. If you understand a new word today that you didn't know last week, that's growth. The small steps you take every day will turn into big achievements, even if you don't see them immediately. Now let's bring everything we've learned together in one final fluency practice. I want you to imagine a full day in English. You wake up and say, "Good morning. I'm feeling ready for the day." You go to the kitchen and say, "I'll have a glass of water, then make some breakfast." You open the fridge. There's milk, eggs, and some fruit. "I'll make an omelet today." While cooking, you talk to yourself. "I need a frying pan, some oil, and salt. I'm cutting the onions and tomatoes now." As you eat, you think, "This tastes great. I'm glad I added some herbs." Then, as you get ready for the day, you say, "I have a meeting this morning, and later I'll call my friend." You move through the day using English, not just as a subject to study, but as a living part of your world. This kind of full-day speaking routine, even if it's just imaginary or spoken to yourself, is one of the most effective ways to train your brain to think and speak fluently. You're not just learning English anymore. You're using it, living it, and building a deep connection with it. That's how fluency becomes natural. You might still wonder, what should I do if I feel shy or nervous? That feeling is normal. Every language learner goes through it. The key is not to let fear stop you. Speak, even when you feel nervous. Make mistakes and learn from them. The more you speak, the less afraid you become. Try speaking to yourself in front of a mirror. Try recording your voice. These are private, safe ways to grow your confidence before speaking with others. And remember, fluency is not about sounding like a native speaker. It's about being able to express your thoughts clearly and comfortably. Your voice matters. Your story matters. Use English to share it. One of the most powerful habits you can develop is to reflect on your learning journey regularly. Take a few minutes at the end of the week to ask yourself, what did I learn this week in English? Write it down or speak it aloud. You might say, "This week, I learned how to describe my routine. I practiced asking and answering questions. I learned some new vocabulary about food and health. I listened to an English podcast and repeated new phrases." This weekly reflection keeps you motivated. It shows you how far you've come, and it helps you plan your next steps. Let's now do one last reflection practice together. Think back to your English learning journey. When did you start? What was the first sentence you ever spoke in English? How did you feel at that time? And now, think about today. How much have you improved since then? Maybe you're still working on fluency, but you've already built a strong foundation. Recognize that. Be proud of that. Growth takes time, and every day you practice, you're moving forward. Before we finish, let me share a few more sentence starters you can use daily to build fluency. Try saying these sentences and completing them with your own words. Today I want to, for example, today I want to practice speaking for 10 minutes. Another one. One thing I learned this week is, for example, one thing I learned this week is how to use the word usually in a sentence. And one more. I feel happy when for example, I feel happy when I understand English movies without subtitles. These simple starters give your practice, structure, and emotion. You're not just speaking, you're expressing who you are. Now here's a final tip that many fluent speakers use without even realizing it. They learn to slow down when they speak. You don't need to rush. Speaking slowly gives you time to think, reduces mistakes, and makes you sound more confident. Fast doesn't mean fluent. Clear, steady speech with natural pauses is much better than quick, nervous talking. So give yourself space to breathe and speak at your own pace. Your fluency will shine through your calm. You now have all the tools you need to continue building your English fluency. Use English every day. Speak out loud. Think in English. Describe your day. Express your opinions. Read aloud. Shadow your favorite speakers. Record yourself. Reflect on your progress. Set small goals. Celebrate your growth. Every single one of these habits brings you closer to fluency. Let's end this video with one last creative exercise. Imagine you're giving advice to a new English learner who is just starting out. What would you tell them? Maybe you'd say, start small, don't be afraid of mistakes, practice a little every day, speak out loud, enjoy the journey. Now speak that advice in your own words. Pretend someone is asking you, how can I become fluent in English? Practice your answer. This not only builds your fluency, but also helps you realize how much you've learned. Fluency in English is not a destination. It's a way of life. It's the choice to use English every day, in your own way. It's the decision to keep going, even when progress feels slow. And it's the belief that your voice deserves to be heard, in English, in your words, in your time. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. I hope this video has inspired you to speak more, practice more, and believe in yourself more. If you found this lesson helpful, make sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss our upcoming videos. And if you know someone else who's learning English, feel free to share this video with them. You might help them take their next step toward fluency. Remember, English fluency is not far away. It's right here, within your reach, and it starts with your voice. So take a deep breath, smile, and say your next sentence in English, out loud, with confidence, and without fear. You've got this. See you in the next lesson.